Here at Tales from the Narc side, I've been trying to learn a few things, a few survival things, because, the world we live in, as you all know, we're living through medical tyranny right now, and being divided, by the media, people that run the show in Washington, all the borderlines, narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths that we have in the billionaires club, and, you know, everybody's aware of what's going on today, and we all know that sthf could happen pretty much at any time, so we should all be kind of prepared and thinking about that. And if you do some research and things, there are some ways to be able to do things without electricity. That's going to be something we're not going to be able to depend on at some point. um, Having no electricity, probably the grid's going to go down to bring in their new reset, their new world order, and all of that. It's bound to happen. So, I've just been trying to learn a few tricks of simple things you can probably have around your house to help you survive and at least be able to cook and start fires. And I highly suggest that everybody invest in a water filter. That's going to be my next purchase. I'm going to be using that for hiking trips, and I'll probably be using these as well. These are just homemade, do-it-yourself stoves. I'm going to turn this into a twig stove and show you how easily it's done just from a soup can. Now, this is a larger soup can. This is like a Progresso soup can, and this here is just your normal, like, I think it was a can of corn or something. And this is a cat food can that I've already, as you can tell, put holes in. I've already tested it out to boil water. You just take your simple bottle opener and, make your indentions to bend the metal, and make sure you have holes throughout the whole thing. And that's where these come in. Some probably ordinary household items that you'll have around your house. And these makeup cotton rounds you use to take your makeup off or whatever, you can get for $1 at the Dollar Tree. These make the best fire starters that I've ever used. And what you do is you take 2 of them, and you take some petroleum jelly. The best way to start a fire is anything petroleum based that tends to burn for a long time. I mean, you can use Neosporin. You can use the alcohol for alcohol stoves. I can't remember the name of that. Some kind of alcohol, anyway. That's what they use in the alcohol stoves, and you can use that in here too. But I'm just using some things that you probably would have in your medicine cabinet anyway. And if you don't even have the cotton rounds, you can use cotton balls. And just make sure you saturate the cotton ball in the Vaseline. And these will burn up to about 3 minutes when you're trying to start a fire. These are the best fire starters, the cotton balls, until I realized, I'm watching one of It's Good in the Woods, one of his videos, and he showed me how to do these. You just make a sandwich out of it with your petroleum jelly in the middle. And these things will actually burn for 7 to 8 minutes. I had one burn for 10 minutes one time. So, and that's what I use in the cat food can. And you don't want to burn these in the house. You want to take them outside, of course, because that can be some toxic smoke. And this I'm going to use as a twig stove. I'm going to show you how to make that with just burning wood, which should be also done outside. But when you light this, it burns for about 7 minutes. And sometimes you might have to fidget with it a little bit to get it started, because it's not like just putting it in, a fire, which they light very easily when you put them in a fire pit or something, but they're a little bit harder to light in here. But once it's lit, it will stay going for 7 minutes, like I said, and long enough to boil water. I did a test. This is a new can, and this is how I use it. I did a test with an older can that I've been using. It gets black from the flames and everything, but the water didn't actually come to a complete boil, but it was on the verge of a boil. Hot enough to kill bacteria, hot enough to heat up anything you want to eat, hot enough to probably put the hot water in a dehydrated meal to rehydrate. I mean, pretty nifty. I mean, it costs practically nothing. You have everything in your cabinets at home to make this, and I'm going to take it outside and show you how it works after I show you how I'm going to get this twig stove. Now with the twig stove, obviously I'm using a big can. You can use a coffee can. I suggest using something bigger than your average corn or your average soup can, because you're going to want to take the bottom, and this part on the bottom is a little bit difficult. I hope I can even do this. I don't know. Wow. Huh. I didn't know it'd be that difficult on the bottom. So it's pretty thick on the bottom. Well, I'm going to start like that, I guess, on the bottom, and see if maybe it'll go through the other way. Yes. Alright, so that's how you want to do the bottom. This is my first time doing the twig stove. And when you get this to come out on the bottom, you're going to have a sharp edge. And you're just going to leave it for a stand. So you just want to work your way around the bottom. Space them out maybe, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. You want plenty of airflow to be able to get through it, to keep the fire going. And remember, these are very sharp, so you have to be very careful. Excuse my ugly nails. I'm in between jobs right now too. This afternoon we had snow here in Kentucky this morning on April the 21st. So that was interesting. But yeah, you'd want to definitely approach your can from the bottom like this, with these bigger, thicker cans, because they are definitely stronger on the bottom, most definitely. You know, it's not going to be anything pretty, but it's going to serve a purpose, a good purpose. In any kind of emergency situation, it'd be worth having one of these. If I were you, I would go ahead and, you know, erect one, because they're good to have around. I'm putting these in my bug out bag with many, many, many fire starters. When we do have STHF, I plan on bugging in as long as I can, and then, you know, if it's bug out time, I want to be ready. That last one didn't want to go through. All right, we got her. Last one was very difficult, but anyway, if that's good enough, you have your stand on the bottom, and then you're going to want to take the top and do the same thing. You want to take your edge out. Yeah, that's real good. And not cut yourself like I just did. Well, I'll live. You want to take that and fold it down the best you can so you don't have that sticking up. Now, you have to be very, very careful with these. That's for sure. Alright, I'm going to continue this all the way around and go get a Band-Aid, and I will be right back. Alright. Alright, got my Band-Aid. Got my holes done and all these bent back to where, I mean, you still have to be very, very, very careful with these sharp edges. But it serves its purpose, like I said. So with this, we're going to take it outside. We're going to fill it up with twigs and give it a try. This is my first time making a twig stove, so it ought to be interesting. And I'm going to show you all this, how it operates. Going to fill it with water and see how hot we can get the water. Now with this twig stove, I am going to use a cotton ball. I'm going to put some Vaseline on the cotton ball and stick it down there. I wouldn't recommend using a fire starter, one of the you know, the pads in here, because it does burn for 7 minutes. And when we're burning twigs, you're actually supposed to just be able to light the twigs from the bottom without a fire starter. But I'm just going to put this in here for a little extra, make sure it gets going type of thing. Just one cotton ball with some Vaseline on it. And we will light it from the bottom. And see, we'll give it a water test. Now with these twig stoves, it's recommended to have a pot stand on top, so you're not directly sitting anything on top, but in emergency times it's not necessary. You can still put something directly on top. It's just going to smoke a little more is what I've heard. So I'm going to put the alcohol cotton ball on the bottom here. And I will see you all outside when I get it full of twigs. Okay, so we're outside. And I'm about to light the cat food alcohol burner stove first with my fire starter that I made with the Vaseline and the makeup pad. Like I said, it's a little tricky to light at first, but once it gets going, it goes. Alright, so it's going, and I'm going to put this cup of water on it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there'll be, well, it's smoking a little bit and there'll be flames that come out the side of these holes. So let's try to light the twig stove. I've got it full of twigs. Got my little bundle of mini twigs here to fill it as it burns. And we're just going to light it from the bottom. I'm trying to light that cotton ball that's in there. Y'all can see the flames in my cat food stove now. Alright, I think we got her going. I got a twig falling out the bottom. Like I said, you have to be don't do this inside. It is definitely an outdoor thing. And we have her going. Just obviously the twig stove is a little bit harder to get going. This is my first time playing with one, so. Alright. I think I see some flames in the bottom of it now. I do see a flame in the bottom. You're supposed to be able to feed the twigs in the sides of these as it goes down. But see how well this is working without an alcohol? Without the alcohol that you're supposed to use in an alcohol burner. Just Vaseline and a makeup pad. And you can have hot water for whatever you need. I think we finally got the twig stove going. It is smoky. And I think we're about to get a flame. I didn't mean to smoke myself out. But I'm learning. It's catching on now. I see fire in the bottom. So let's try to set this can of water on top here. And the tin left over from, there we go, we got fire. But that is definitely a smoky stove. Most definitely smoky. But it's serving its purpose. So, we'll see how long this takes to get this water warm and boiling, and I'll be right back.